we will be building our first Django application. It's a simple CRUD, create, read, update, delete application, and by the end of this session, you'll have it running on your local server. To begin, we first create a new Django project. This is done by running the Django admin start project myproject command, which generates a new folder named myproject. Inside this folder, Django creates several important files like manage.py, which is the command line utility for interacting with the project, and settings.py, where we configure project-wide settings such as database connections, installed apps, and middleware. After creating the project, we open the project folder in VS Code using the command code myproject, and from here, we can begin building our app. Django projects are made up of apps that are responsible for specific tasks. To create an app, we run a command that generates a folder for the app. Inside this folder, we'll find several important files, such as models.py, views.py, and urls.py. These files will help us define how our application works. Next, we register our newly created app within the project settings.py file. This is done by adding the app name to the installed apps list, which ensures Django knows about the app and can use its components. The next step is to define the model. A model in Django is a Python class that maps to a database table. In our case, we are building a model for a blog post, which includes fields like title, content, and a creation timestamp. The title is a short text field, the content is a longer text field, and the created field automatically records when the post is created. After defining the model, we need to create database migrations. Migrations are a way of applying changes to the database schema. Running the migration commands ensures the database has the correct structure to store our posts. Now, we move on to views. Views in Django are responsible for processing user requests and returning the appropriate response. For this step, we define a view that retrieves all the posts from the database and sends them to the template for rendering. The view will query the database for all the posts and pass this data to the template. In Django, URLs are managed through urlconf, which maps URLs to specific views. We create a new urls.py file inside the app folder to define the root for the post list view. The URL for the post list is set to the root of the app, and it's linked to the post list view we just created. We also need to include these app URLs in the main project's urls.py file so that the app's roots are available when the project runs. Next, we move to templates. Templates in Django are HTML files that define how the data will be presented to the user. We create a template to display the list of blog posts. Inside this template, we loop through all the posts passed from the view and display their title and content. We also configure Django to look for templates in the MyAppTemplates folder by updating the templates setting in settings.py. This ensures Django knows where to find the template files. Now that everything is set up, we can run the Django development server. This allows us to see our application in action. We can access the app through the browser by going to http://127.0.0.1.8000. If everything is working correctly, we should see the list of posts. To add posts to the database, we use the Django admin interface. The first step is to create a superuser by running a command that allows us to access the admin panel. When prompted, we provide a username, email, and password for the superuser account. Once the superuser is created, we can log into the admin panel at http://127.0.0.1.8000/admin using the credentials we just created. However, before we can manage blog posts through the admin panel, we need to register the post model. To do this, we open AdminPy inside the My App folder and register the post model. Once the model is registered, the post section will appear in the admin panel, allowing us to add, edit, and delete posts. Once we register the model, we can return to the admin panel at http://127.0.1:8000/admin/. We will now see the posts section, where we can add new posts, update existing ones, or delete any posts we no longer need. This makes it easy to manage the blog content directly through the admin interface without interacting with the database manually. Inside the admin panel, we will see the posts section, where we can add, update, or delete blog posts. This interface makes it easy to manage our content without needing to interact with the database directly. We can create new posts, edit existing ones, and delete any unwanted posts from here. Congratulations! You've successfully built your first Django application, including creating an app, defining models, setting up views and templates, running the application on a local server, and testing the admin panel. You've also learned how to add and manage data through the Django admin interface. This is just the beginning, and in the next lessons, we'll explore more advanced Django features.